So today is finally upon us. I'm gonna go over my favorite settings for the Ronin SC gimbal, so stick around.
Naturally, your mind craves stabilization. It wanders like silk.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back. If this is your first time here on this channel is all about drone and tech related content. So if that's at all interesting, be sure to smash that subscribe button before you leave this video. So the Ronin SC has been out for a little bit now. I have the Ronin S, and I actually have two Ronin SCs. I've got the Pro version and the regular version, and both are right now hands down my favorite gimbal. Now, while I'm probably not using all the features that the SC offers, what really matters to me is how smooth this gimbal is when I'm doing my real estate walkthroughs. I hate having to use post stabilization, and what I found is this gimbal is way smoother, or maybe it's because it's lighter, it's just easier to operate than the Ronin S. But the settings are a little bit different than what I use on the Ronin S, so I'm gonna go ahead and share that with you today. So first things first, I use Sony mirrorless cameras like the A6400 and A6500 for all my video walkthroughs. The lens that I'm using is a Ronin 12mm lens. I do have a follow focus gear on here. I'll be sure to include links to in the description below for this because these gears are amazing if you have the Pro version. I went with the silver version just because it's cheaper. It's just not because I wanted it, it's just cheaper. And I do keep a Benro Arca Swiss plate at the bottom of this at all times, because on my gimbal, on the slide plate, I keep a Arca Swiss adapter here, and I'll show you why here in a moment. So in order to get my settings right for your gimbal, you're gonna need to go ahead and first balance it. Now, one of the nice things about this gimbal is that you can lock all the axes, which makes balancing much easier than the first version. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and slide the camera into the gimbal, and I'm just gonna lock it in any position to start off with. First thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and set the balance. Now, here's the deal. I see a lot of people make this mistake when they balance a gimbal, they leave the lens cap on. I'm gonna go ahead and take my lens cap off because I wanna balance it for how it's going to actually be used. Typically, I do have a monitor mounted to here, so I would have that cable mounted as well. But let's just go ahead and fix the forward balance just a little bit first before we get started, because it's not really perfect. All right, almost a little bit. All right, that looks pretty good there. So forward balance is set, and this is where that Arca Swiss plate comes in handy because you can see, let's see what the side balance looks like. So we're a little heavy on this side, but with this extra Swiss plate right here, all I have to do is loosen this up and slide the camera over to the left a little bit. And that looks pretty good. And let's see if this balanced this way, and it is. So now it's fully balanced. Let's go ahead and turn the camera on, make sure everything's unlocked now. It is, all axes are unlocked. There we go. So now it's perfectly balanced. Power on the gimbal. And let me open up my Ronin app so I can start screen recording for you guys so I can show you exactly how I utilize these different configurations. It's really super simple though. If I wanted to, I could go ahead and do a auto tune, but I don't think that's really necessary at this point. But I'm gonna go into my user profile. So for profile M1, what I found works best with this setup here, which has been absolutely beast, is the speed I set to low, deadband set to low, and I have my push pan turned on. I have it set to pan and tilt follow. And for me, this works really good. I really haven't had an issue with this configuration here. Now for the control, when you click over to motion, this is what I have set on my motion. I have it set to medium, max speed medium, and smoothen set to medium. That is what I find is I'm able to get these really super nice smooth movements, and especially for you guys that are shooting in like 60 frames per second, this isn't too slow where it's gonna be like noticeably slow, but it's fast enough where you can still have control, but slow enough where you're able to manipulate it easily. And I think that works pretty well. Moving over to the M2 spot, I keep this over to my 360 roll. I like to give stylistic appearances in video, and I think the 360 motion, this works really well for certain shots in houses and just gives you, something different than your competitors typically would have. So I like using the 360 roll. And then lastly, I like to use the pan follow in my M3, and I have everything set to low, push pan set to on. And then when I go to my control settings, I have it set to low, high, and smoothen set to low. And that sort of gives me this sort of like washed out feel. So like when I'm in a kitchen or something and I'm panning around, let's say an appliance or something, I'm gonna get a really nice smooth movement, but without having that extra shake in it. Now these configurations are my configurations. You may find something that works better, but what I found with the Ronin SC is I don't have to dial in all these little minute configurations like I had to do with the Ronin S. We can blame it on better motor, maybe better processors, I don't know, but whatever it is, this just feels so much more smoother than the previous generation. But I'll go ahead and play some of these clips that I've done in houses that I've used the Ronin SC in this whole setup here. And yeah, let me know what you think. Okay, so there you go. So whether you have the Pro version or the base version, these configurations will work just the same. They work incredibly well, and I've been really happy with this gimbal. I literally have no regrets, and I take this on every shoot. Just the fact that it can come apart so easily and I can throw it in my gear bag makes this gimbal worth the money. And it's light, it's easy. I love the new joystick, how it's got the little stubby on here. It just makes it easier. If you guys want to see more videos on the Ronin SC or know more about the focus motor and how I have this configured and set up with Arca Swiss plates and these focus wheels, definitely drop a comment down below because I'll spin this up. But again, my primary focus for these videos with the gimbals is the fact that I do use it, you know, in real estate walkthroughs. That's what I'm using like almost every single day. I use this gimbal, and I've had literally no problems with stabilization, nor have I had to use very much warp stabilizer in post, which is a big deal because that saves me a lot of time, saves you a lot of time as well. But anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed, drop it a like, give it a thumbs up. That's the same thing. But we'll see you next time. Stay original.